Hello, greetings everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Daniel Pineda.
My name is Adele Quo.
And we have our usual lineup of stuff here tonight. Our news and CBB. Adele Quo is here, another installment of
It's Easy Being Green.
Our news for seniors segment. CBB, as I mentioned, our movie and theater reviewer, well, mostly theater reviewer, Denise Pringle, looking at the audience tonight, and then our news for seniors. And that's our show. But before we begin, a social media reminder from my partner, Mr. Daniel Pineda.
Absolutely, Mr. Nolan. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News. And everyone, the number 1. Also, facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News. And also on the radio, right, Craig?
Gracias, Senor Pineda. That's right. You can also hear the audio from the Arlington Weekly News on WERA 96.7 LPFM. Check it out. All right, before we begin our news items tonight, recently I had a chance to sit down with Paul LeValley, who is Executive Director of AIM, and have a little chat with him about exactly what's going on here at AIM. So here's a look at that interview. Hi, everybody. Craig Nolan here, and we're sitting here at the desk, the Arlington Weekly News desk, and I have the great privilege of welcoming Mr. Paul LeValley, who's the Executive Director of AIM. Thanks for joining us on Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. Welcome to the show.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thanks for asking me.
It's good to have you here. And we'd like to talk a little bit about AIM and some of the pressures and changes that have been going on here. AIM has been around for, 35 years?
We're in our 35th year. We'll be 36 years old in October.
And you've been Executive Director for about 20 of those.
25.
25
yeah,
of
I'm in
those.
my 25th year. No, that's all right.
Well,
it's easy to lose track.
It's a great organization. I've been a member off and on for probably most of those 35 years doing the Arlington Weekly News here.
You've been here ever since I've been here.
Probably, yes, I have. And it's fun. I enjoy it. And I know now that AIM is under a little pressure. There have been some budgetary changes at the county level. And well, before we get to that, though, I'd like to talk a little bit about just some of the good stuff. You know, how many awards, Arlington Community Media Awards, or our National Community Media Television, what is the organization?
It's called the Alliance for Community Media.
Thank you.
It's the national organization that does what we do. And
we've won significant 10 or 12 of those, right?
10 awards for being the best in the nation.
In the country.
And that's a record. No one else has won that many. So I think we're justified in saying we're the best in the country.
I think so.
At doing what we do.
And we have a base of how many volunteers?
We have about 700 members, and each year they donate about 6,000 hours to make this organization work. Otherwise, we could never do it. I mean, you know yourself, Arlington Weekly News depends on volunteers, as do almost all of the programs that happen here.
We try, and we keep at it. You know, maybe one of these days somebody will find out exactly what we do here. It's a lot of work, but it's enjoyable, and I've enjoyed being a part of it. Well, the thing now that's kind of come to the forefront here is the budgeting issue from the county. And initially, the budget process was supposed to support 20% of our operating
initially, the county had committed to, well, let's take one step back before we get to that and say that historically, AIM has been supported by 1% of the cable company's gross revenue. That provided the base for our operating funds. That changed when the cable franchise ended in December of 2016. When the new terms of the new franchise began, we no longer were guaranteed a percentage of gross revenue. We were now supposed to just exist under the county's regular budgeting process. Now, they were still getting, and are still getting, 5% gross revenue communications tax from all communications providers in Arlington. But we aren't guaranteed any percentage of that money. We just have to apply to the county, and then we go through their budget process and they give us funds. Now, last year, they agreed to basically support us at the same level as they had when we were receiving the 1%. Because to them, it was the same. I mean, they're getting the same money from the same source. But they asked us for succeeding years, they were going to step us down by 5% each year. And their justification for that was that more and more people are cutting the cable cord, and that cable revenues are going down.
Right.
And so taxes raised from cable revenues were going down by about 5% a year. And so we should expect to take a 5% hit every year in the money that we receive from Arlington County. And we said that sounds,
Over the next 3 or 4 years.
over the next 4 years
Going-
until the franchise
right,
ends.
moving forward.
And we agreed to that. That sounded fair and right to us. The funds that we receive from Arlington County provide about 50% of our budget. And so they're very important to us, but we felt we
Absolutely.
could develop other sources of revenue to make up for that 5% cut each year. The problem is this year we were we were very taken by surprise by the county manager's proposal, which says they're going to cut our funds by 20% in 1 year. That's an unsustainable cut for AIM, and it will mean significant loss of service to the community, staff, equipment, et cetera, et cetera.
Services.
Yeah, we can't sustain that kind of cut in 1 year.
So now with, we almost forgot to mention WERA, which went on the air almost 2 years ago.
It's
now?
a little more than 2 years now, yeah.
Over 2 years.
Yeah.
Which is doing well.
Doing very well.
had a lot of listeners
A lot of
and-
listeners, a lot of programs. We have 90 regularly produced programs on the air. And more applications every week come to us. We have a group of citizens called the Programming Advisory and Review Council that meets
The
every
PARC.
month. Yeah, the PARC.
The PARC.
To review those applications and decide who can join the radio team. And so people want in, people are listening, people are enjoying it. We're getting feedback every day now from listeners. People are listening on demand through our website, through Mixcloud, through iTunes. That's going great. In fact, programmatically, Arlington Independent Media has never been more active. We've got more producers doing more shows, doing more radio productions, now podcasts than ever before. We're teaching more classes, we're graduating more students, we're reaching out to more youth, we're running one of the region's best film festivals, all
And you're partnering with a lot of community, Arlington community.
Arlington Economic
organizations.
Development, with a number of other community organizations. I think programmatically things are going great. But the
okay.
county has proposed this 20% cut, and it's
So what can we as AIM members and, volunteers, folks who come here. And viewers do? I mean,
what we'd like you to do is go to our website,
okay.
where we're going to provide you with information about how to contact the Arlington County government and request that they not do this and not take these drastic cuts on AIM. And we'll provide you with sample letters. We'll provide you with evidence that you can present to the county board. And we'd also like you to just tell your own stories about how much AIM and WERA mean to you. You can find us at www.arlingtonmedia.org.
Okay, good. Well, I think we can do this. We've been around for 35 years, so that says something, and we've added a radio station. We've got 700 volunteers who are dedicated and faithful, and I think it's going to be okay. But
If the people lead, the leaders will follow, right?
that's right. And once again, you want to mention the website, the phone number,
Well, just go to the website. That's probably the easiest thing and best thing to do at arlingtonmedia.org.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for stopping by, and you're welcome to come and read the news any night with us. Here
It's
on
really good to
AWN.
hang out with a
Appreciate it.
fellow Iowan.
Absolutely.
That's the best part.
Thanks so
It's
much,
good
Paul.
to see you, Craig.
Come back and see us, and you're welcome anytime.
Thank you very much.
That's a wrap here from the interview desk, and we'll send it back to the news desk. There you go. Thanks to Mr. LeValley, Paul LeValley, for stopping by and giving us an update on what's going on with the county.
And really an
and
important story.
Our budget
Yeah.
cut. So we can do this.
Yeah.
We can do this. All right. Moving on now. Here we go with the first of our news items, news for seniors, glasses in place. Well, with the upcoming county budget reductions in funding for Arlington Independent Media, county board members
recently received
a 3.5% raise. County board members getting a raise. The new salaries
are
$56,629 per year for the chair and $53,282 per year for regular county board members. These positions are designated as part-time based on a work week of about 32 hours. This comes to over $32 per hour, even for the regular members. The median hourly pay rate in Arlington is around $20 per hour. The upcoming county budget also reduces funding for parks and recreation, human services, road maintenance, and many other items. Meanwhile, the annual salary of County Manager Mark Schwartz, who drew up the budget, is well over $240,000 as of 2016. So food for thought there. Daniel.
Well, Craig, the Arlington County Board regularly features what they call Open Door Mondays during most of the year. Every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. at locations around the county, you can meet with a county board member. No appointment is needed. The upcoming Open Door Mondays will take place at Arlington Mill Community Center on Monday, March the 12th, the Central Library on Monday, March the 19th, Aurora Hills Library, that's on Monday, March the 26th, Langston Brown Community Center on Monday, April the 2nd. This is your chance to ask questions face-to-face and hopefully get the answers. There will be a public budget hearing on Tuesday, April the 3rd at 7 p.m. at 2100 Clarendon Boulevard. That's at Suite 300.
All right, Daniel, also in our news items, well, by the time this program airs, this edition of the Arlington Weekly News, somewhere around the 8th of March, Dominion Energy hopes to have power fully restored to all Arlington residents following the great windstorm that struck over the last weekend, last Friday. The storm caused considerable damage as winds of over 60 miles per hour caused trees to topple, blocked roads, disrupted power, and even damaged at least one car. Anyone still without power can go to one of many locations where power has been restored and contact Dominion Energy for more information and assistance. Their emergency number is 866-366-4357. Daniel.
Well, Craig, Nord Beckerman, known locally as the Brain Health Coach, has just published his first full-length novel. It's called Virus, and it combines science, fantasy, and a dash of romance into a kind of sci-fi thriller format. Will protagonists Barry Protok and Rachel Cummings be able to thwart the ages-old menace that now threatens all life on Earth? Well, the answer can be found in the pages of Virus, available via Amazon. Congratulations to Nort Beckerman.
Way to go, Nort. First novel. Good stuff. All right, we'll be back with CBB, as I mentioned, right after we hear from Adele Quo and another edition of
It's Easy Being Green.
Here's Adele.
Great, I love the excitement there in that introduction. My name's Adele Quo. Welcome back, Arlington, to It's Easy Being Green. Back in November 2017, it was announced the Arlington Magnolia Bog Restoration Project earned the Best New Environmental Sustainability Award in 2016 from the Virginia Recreation and Park Association. My CBLP Level 2 group was scheduled to visit this globally rare restored project back in early November, but sadly we didn't have time. To my delight, on page 3 of Arlington's spring issue of The Snag, there's mention of an upcoming Barcroft Magnolia Bog Tour scheduled for Friday, May 4th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., activity number 632848-I. However, not only am I out of the country that day, but the Barcroft Tour is already full and 2 names are on the wait list. There's more interest in the Magnolia Bog Restoration Project than I surmised. Joe Treefrog wants you to know why this is such a cool restoration project. The Magnolia Bog, aka Piedmont Seepage Bog, is a globally rare type of natural plant community. Back in 1918, naturalist W.L. McAtee described these distinctive wetlands because of the presence of lemon-scented, large creamy white flowers of the sweet bay magnolia, also called Magnolia virginiana. They flourish with diverse plants from sphagnum moss to cinnamon ferns to our edible blueberries and more. Most of the 13 magnolia bogs known to exist in the Atlantic coastal plain area were destroyed by development, and only 2 remnants may still occur in Northern Virginia. Arlington's magnolia bog is one of only 24 known in the world. Back in late April 2011, I visited the fall line magnolia bog at Winkler Botanical Preserve. It was gorgeous. Once regionally famous as one of the best remaining examples of a globally rare magnolia bog, most of the springs and seepage wetlands, including the magnolia bog, have been destroyed by the development surrounding the preserve. So our Barcroft Magnolia Bog is truly special and worth celebrating. And if you're interested in having a second Barcroft Magnolia Bog tour added, please call the Arlington Parks and Rec Registration Office at 703-228-4747. Because if there's enough demand, maybe they'll consider adding another. Let them know you heard this on Easy Being Green, Arlington Weekly News. Or maybe I'll find that magnolia bog on my own time, and if so, I'll report back and start leading some of my own eco tours. So stay tuned for my efforts to view the somewhat elusive Barcroft Magnolia Bog. And remember, it's easy being green, supporting Arlington County's restoration efforts.
It's Bogmania.
That's right.
Magnolia Bogmania. Well, that sounds like a pretty cool place. I'd like to see that myself.
Yeah,
somewhere
me
over
too.
by Lake Barcroft, but you have
No,
to
there's rumors of where to go and how to get there.
you have to talk to you to find out exactly where it is.
You have the information, right?
That's right. Bogmania is still all right. That's good. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Adele.
Thanks, Adele. Okay, as promised now, here we go with our CBB Community Bulletin Board file. Here's a free event for children ages 2 through 10. It's a storytime event that includes Cat in the Hat, the Lorax, and more. Registration is required, and the child caretakers must also attend. But even they might end up having some fun. It all takes place on Thursday, March 13, from 10:30 to 11 in the morning at Long Branch Nature Center at Glen Carlin Park. They're located at 625 South Carlin Springs Road right here in Arlington. Give them a call for more information. Daniel.
Well, Craig, breast cancer is the most common cancer in women, and it is the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths. Come and learn how to protect yourself or your loved ones by attending a presentation by Julie Pierce, a registered nurse. It will be held on Wednesday, March the 14th from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. That's at the Langston Brown Community and Senior Center and Park. That's located at 2121 North Culpeper Street in Arlington, Virginia. If you need any more information, call Elizabeth Poole at 703-228-6300.
And Daniel, also in our community bulletin board file, here's something for the slightly older kids in grades 6 through 12. It's called Teen Cupcake Decorating, and it's just a chance to decorate a cupcake. The cupcakes and decorating supplies will be provided, so what you have to do is just to get to lose. What? Take 2.
Take 5.
What have you got to lose? Take 2, take 3 or 4. It's being held Tuesday, March 13 from 5 to 6 in the evening at Campbell Room at Shirlington Branch Library. They're located at 4200 Campbell Avenue here in Arlington. Contact information should be on your screen. Give them a call for more information. Daniel.
That's a new word, Craig. You're always inventing.
Cupcakes?
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo. Your turn.
Well, Craig, some Arlington residents are concerned about overcrowding, so the Department of Parks and Recreation is offering a tour of the solar system. It's a chance to see about finding another place with more room. You'll explore the 8 planets of the solar system plus Pluto through activities that compare weather conditions, planet size, day and year lengths, as well as travel distance for your commuters. The tour begins. That's on Wednesday, March the 14th from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. That's at the Gulf Branch Nature Center and Park, located at 3608 North Military Road in Arlington, Virginia. The program is intended for children ages 8 through 12, and the cost is $5 at registration. Call 703-228-3403 for more information and to register.
All right, Daniel, News for Seniors is coming up. Stick around, don't go away right after we hear from Denise Pringle and her thoughts on The Audience. Here's Denise.
The Audience, now playing at the Little Theater of Alexandria, focuses on the private meetings that take place each Tuesday evening between Queen Elizabeth II and her prime ministers in the private audience room at Buckingham Palace. The Queen and her prime ministers have agreed never to repeat what is discussed in these meetings, but playwright Peter Morgan has imagined what may have been said in some of them. He has written the movie The Queen and the critically acclaimed Netflix series The Crown, so he has developed an ease in imagining her dialogue. Director Ruben Vellacoup was determined to showing the Queen's dedication to being sure that the prime ministers who surround her make the best decisions they are capable of, and to showcase her wit and warmth, as well as her endurance. Quick costume and wig changes help Nikki McDonald portray the Queen from the time she has been newly crowned to the mature monarch about 60 years later. Ubiquitous brooches and strands of pearls adorn her royal costumes. Especially memorable are the conversations she had with a humbled Harold Wilson, played by Will Cook, for whom the Queen seemed to have a tender preference, to Jeanette Moman's more blustery Margaret Thatcher, with whom she had a more combative stance. Of course, audiences with Robert Heinley's stoic Winston Churchill are included, but appearances with Evie Graham Jewett as the young Elizabeth are a bit of a surprise. The talks between the young girl and her older self suggest that the monarch's sense of duty and service was developed at an early age. There is minimal staging necessary for this show, but an equerry played by Paul Donahoe makes some comments about the two all-important chairs and their histories and bouts of reupholstery. These chairs have accommodated the Queen and each of her prime ministers. We can envision a corgi or two has tried them out as well. The Audience plays at the Little Theater of Alexandria through March 17th. History buffs and Anglophiles will be especially intrigued by this play, but it will appeal to anyone who has wondered what it would be like to be a fly on the wall and listen in on conversations that influenced world history. I'm Denise Pringle. Now back to the news desk.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, Denise, and her thoughts on The Audience. We always appreciate her reviews. Thanks very much, Denise.
Always positive.
Here we go. It's positive. It's positive now. As promised, now take 3 or 4. Our News for Seniors segment, News for Seniors class, is back in place. Well, join Scott Graham, Arlington County Natural Resources Technician, on a walk around Arlington's 4-mile run drive. You'll learn how to identify and remove invasive plants. Mr. Graham will also discuss where the plants come from and how they affect the environment. That's coming up on Tuesday, March 13 at 1 in the afternoon at Arlington Mill Community and Senior Center, 909 South Dinwiddie Street here in Arlington. For more information, number should be on your screen and in your ear, 703-228-7369. Daniel.
Well, Craig, they say you can't take it with you, but at least you can have a say in what becomes of it. Join Ed Zetlin, elder law attorney in Arlington, as he discusses the necessary documents for estate planning. There will also be time for questions. That all takes place on Wednesday, March the 14th at 1 p.m. at Langston Brown Community and Senior Center and Park, located at 2121 North Culpeper Street. That's in Arlington, Virginia. Give them a call to register. That's at 703-228-6300. And
Daniel, also in our News for Seniors file, Technology Tuesday at Walter Reed will focus on Microsoft Picture Tools. You can learn how to get the most out of your favorite images. Volunteers and staff will provide instruction. That's coming up Tuesday, March 13 at 1 in the afternoon at Walter Reed Community and Senior Center and Park, located at 2909 16th Street South here in Arlington. For more information and registration, give them a call at this number, 703-228-0955. Daniel.
Well, Craig, Anthony Gallo and the cast of the 7th Street Players will be staging a reading of the Springfield Boys. It's a 2-act dramedy about the historically significant relationship between Abraham Lincoln, his close friend Joshua Fry Speed, and his law partner William H. Herndon. That's from 1837 to 1891. This is a free event and will take place on Wednesday, March the 14th at 7 p.m. at the Arlington Mill Community and Senior Center. That's located at 909 South Dinwiddie Street in Arlington, Virginia. And Craig, if you need any more information, just give them a call at 703-228-7369.
All right, Daniel, and finally in our News for Seniors, on the third Wednesday of every month, Aurora Hills features a little comedy club. It's a chance to sit back and enjoy humor in its many different forms. Cartoons from Charles Addams, James Thurber, and others. Humorous poetry from Ogden Nash, Dorothy Parker, and even Robert Frost. Short stories and jokes. You can even bring your own if you like. Stand-up comedy from the likes of Henny Youngman. Stage comedy from the Marx Brothers, TV comedy from Sid Caesar, silent film company, and a few other surprises there. The next show is coming up on Wednesday, March 21st from 11:30 to 12:30 at Aurora Hills Community and Senior Center, 735 18th Street South here in Arlington. And their number and contact information should be on your screen there. Give them a call. That sounds like a lot of fun. We also would like to thank Judy Missobny of OSAP, Office of Senior Adult Programs,
Judy.
for helping us out.
We love her.
And sending us these stories. And once again, here's a reminder, if you see something or hear something on the Arlington Weekly News that you'd like to comment about, likes or dislike, let us know. Check us out at this website, arlingtonweeklynews@gmail.com. We'd like to hear from you. And that's our show for this week. Somewhere, our first run coming up somewhere
Great job,
around
buddy.
the 8th of March.
You did it.
Thank you, Senor Pineda. Just a reminder that, you know, with over 700 plus members here at AIM, if even a half of us, you know, put a little bit in the pot, we can do this thing here. So
We
keep
can
that in
definitely
mind.
do it, Craig.
We'll,
we have to fight hard.
We'll get back to you and have some more information for you on that on our next show. But I think we can do this as a
definitely
volunteer
can.
organization.
We have a voice, Craig.
And a well-established organization here with plenty of community ties, no problem. What do you think?
Absolutely.
With 35 years, we should be able to do it,
After
right, Craig?
35 years, we're
Yeah.
not going anywhere. All right, that's our show. We thank you for watching this edition of the Arlington Weekly News. Keep us in mind, and if you're there next week, we'll be here, and we'll try it all again. Have a safe week. Bye-bye.